In the last video, I talked a lot about perks and what I would suggest for them. But because my Chungus Nadi here forgot to open his fucking notes on time, I missed out on a lot of perk suggestions which I did have, but just forgot to talk about them or elaborate on some comments. So this is just going to be an extra video I'm going to probably upload to YouTube. So let's start with Rhine. With Rhine, I want Crusader's Resolve to return. I personally really don't like the barrier perk. It's really boring to use. I don't care that it technically has some uses to it, but I personally think Crusader's Resolve was already one of the healthiest perks in the game, and it was really good at encouraging aggressive play on Reinhardt, so I would want it to return. Next is Bastion. Even though I already said I'm satisfied with his perks more or less, I do actually have a small idea that I have for him to replace either of his miners. Basically, this idea is that while in configuration assault mode, the cooldown of grenade is accelerated by 50%. So this is like a replacement for the nade perk, which means you still have more nades during assault form, but it's just like not as consistent. However, if it turns out to be too bad, then obviously you can replace it. For Freya, even though I love the region perk, I actually heard some feedback from one of my viewers that said that you can probably make it a minor perk, and instead of making you being reliant on how much you're in the air, you can make it just rock the regeneration passive. Basically, like with Sombra, Controlled Escape, and Rhine's Crusader's Resolve. I actually think it's a good idea, and I actually would not mind it existing replacing the Momentum Boost perk, which is the movement one, because she already got a lot of movement from the extra buffs you got for not being able to 2-tap anymore. For Hanzo, I actually do have a replacement idea for Scatter, and that is a perk I call Sonic. How do I call it? I don't remember. Poison Cloud, I think I call it. It's basically a replacement to Scatter Arrow, and basically what it does is that when you launch Sonic, there is the big circle here. So basically, this circle now launches a poisonous gas around the area, dealing 100 damage over 2.5 seconds. So basically, obviously you have Sonic Disruption, but I feel like this could even be a minor perk, but a weaker version, where you use Sonic let's say here, and now that bot takes damage. Let's say 100 damage is a major perk, maybe is a minor perk, it could be 40, but I feel like it would be nice since it does change how you use Sonic Arrow. So yeah. For Junk, for Junk, I fucking forgot that I have a really good major perk idea for him. And basically, let me show you what I mean. You know how Junkrat has the grenades around him here? So my idea is basically that he has a new ability replacing Trap as a major perk. It's one of these grenades, and I call it Frag Grenade. Basically, it's a throwable grenade. If you land directly on an enemy, it roots for 1.5 seconds, and it does 100 damage, explosive damage. And it also, very importantly, pulls airborne enemies downwards. So you have a lot of counterplay against against Pharah and stuff like that, and it's an E. I can't really visualize it, but pretend that this conch is an E, and whenever it lands on the wall or an enemy, it explodes, and if it's a direct hit, it roots people, but only when it directly lands on enemy. I feel like it would be really cool replacement for Trap. Small comment on Mei. I think the freeze perk obviously should be removed. It's something I already said, but the replacement should be the Snow Boots item from Stadium. I don't know if you remember it, but it's the one that gives you speed boost while shooting, being on the floor. Maybe you can do it so the cone angle is a little more forgiving, so you can just do this. But that'll be cool to have for Mei, and it was already suggested a million times. Reaper, this is a little optional, but part of me wants Death's Shadow back, which is his old miner, where like he gave you the extra range from Shadow step and it reloaded your ammo. I think it will be nice as a competition to the Shadow Blink. So on the miners you have Shadow Blink without the cooldown reduction, so you have for closer ranges, and the alternative is Death Shadow for like longer range maps. So you either have something that is already like what you're already good at, or one for your weaknesses on the miner per category. And you can still keep the free flight thing as a major, what I already said. Okay. On Brig, I did show on the video that like my idea that I forgot to add, it's the only idea I forgot to talk about that I did mention. Basically what I want is that when you jump and press shift, you're basically launched into the air. I don't want it to be like a clunky movement type, so I want it to be only when you're like in the air jumping, and only when you're like interacting to a wall. Like I want it to also be a little bit like diagonal, so when you do this, you're like, you know, launch a little like diagonally. I feel like it would be a really cool way of giving the break like a little bit of verticality. And you can also have an increased cooldown on whip compensate, even though it is a major perk, so I don't think it's super necessary, but yeah, I just need to elaborate on that a little bit. For Weaver, actually literally the day after I had the recording, my opinions changed on him because I had another discussion with the Weaver one trick. Basically, I'm giving him a new minor perk, replacing life weaving, which basically every time you dash, you gain attack speed for 3 seconds. Like only the Weaver, you get 15% attack speed for 3 seconds when you use your dash. So you're basically more incentivized to use dash aggressively. Secondly, the thing I told you about, shooting, when you shoot it generates healing part, I still want it to stay, but I want it to be a minor perk and not a major perk. Because in the video I said I wasn't sure, but now I'm firmly on the suggestion it should be a minor perk. For majors, I'm actually keeping both Pedal Power and Super Bloom. However, with Pedal Power, you gotta give it like a little bit of a linger effect, because right now it only works the moment you stand on it. So if you like give it like a little bit of linger when you like leave pedal, or like when you destroy it, it will be like really good buff quality of life to have, so you can actually compete with Super Bloom. And with Super Bloom, the guy I talked to like changed it a lot more than me. Like he changed the amount of shot, the duration and the damage with the amount of shots, blah blah blah. I think for now you can just get away with nerfing the damage to 35 or 30 with Super Bloom, which currently does 40, so it can better compete with the Pedal Power. So yeah, these are like the small comments I wanted to make about this video. I'm probably gonna upload it as something extra, so thank you for watching.